Good morning, everyone. Back to work on the S14 Pro car. So we don't have any parts to put on it just yet, but it doesn't matter because there's still some things we have to do before we get to that point. And by that, I mean we still got to cut this thing up. Spoon's favorite part.
Oh, I'm ready to piss everyone off.
I've never seen him so excited. Why are we cutting it up, right? What's the whole point of doing all of this? Well, there's a few good reasons for it. One of the big things is obviously we can't be stuck to the constraints of the factory metal. There's a lot of things that need to go in here that aren't gonna fit with the factory metal, so we kind of have to rewrite the whole script. We're gonna lop it off and redo it. On top of that, we get to replace it with a fiberglass rear, which not only makes it lighter, but it also makes it a lot more crashable. I don't plan to crash it, but in competitive drifting, you're playing with fire every single lap and it happens. We gotta build this thing to crash. That goes for the rear of the car and that goes for the front of the car. But before we get into cutting and to making room for all the things that we need to make room for, we gotta pull the glass out of this thing because, well, right now it's just getting in the way.
I don't remember where I got that from. I've had it for years.
This thing looks, this looks like a torture device. Look at this thing.
It's taking out a lot of glass.
Since we don't have to be super gentle with this car, we're gonna pull the glass ourselves. Yeah. Spoon has this crazy vibrating knife thing and we're gonna use this to remove all the glass?
Yeah. The rears, I'm comfortable with cutting out with that. The windshield is an 80-20 chance it's gonna break.
It's probably gonna break.
No matter.
The front windshield is a lot more brittle of a glass, so they're way easier to break. So if you're gonna pull your front windshield yourself, don't count on saving it because it's very, very easy to chip this thing. But do you wanna start with the hard part first, the front, or start with the
we'll bang out the rears.
I like that. Talk me through this, Spoon. I've never seen that tool before.
A little bit of glass cleaner, just a little bit, and literally it just oscillates back and forth.
Jesus.
Nothing fancy. I'm pretty sure you can get it on Amazon.
Don't be scratching my paint now.
I'm gonna paint it anyways. Did I get you?
Yeah, pretty good. That was my bad. That was bad communication on my part. Watch your fingers. Idiot.
I feel bad, but I don't.
That was 100% my fault. Don't feel bad. I was being an idiot. I was getting eager. Keep your hands away from power tools. Be very gentle with your trim. Jesus. There we go. The blood's still on it. Let me do the next one.
I'll wash my fingers.
Yeah, watch your fingers, alright?
Alright, a lot of lube.
A lot of lube, always. You gotta be a little careful because if you're really aggressive like I just went and I knew I was being a little too aggressive, right, it'll hit the metal.
You felt it, right?
Oh, I felt it, but I was like, get this thing out of here. All right, let's do the back. Get this thing out of here.
Before you cut that, you want some of this?
No, thank you. From that thing vibrating. That's great.
That's the original glue for sure.
Woo!
Never been out? Never been out.
Oh man. I've met a lot of glass guys. They all got their own tricks. And they all take a lot of pride in it. So all the glass guys that are watching this are cringing right now, and I know it. And there's more tools out there. I know our buddy Josh has this, like, it looks like a sawzall with like a spatula on the end of it. And it just, he goes, and they just I've seen him pull back windshields in like 4 seconds. It's nuts. Thing pops out. So.
Sorry to interrupt the video. I just have a quick announcement. This Friday, December 8th through the 16th, we're running a pre-order on one of our most requested designs that we had this year. The Porsche t-shirt design. We're doing it in white, and then we're also doing the hoodie with the Porsche design on it. This will be a pre-order, so December 8th all the way to December 16th. This was our most requested design, one of our most successful designs of the year. So this will be your last chance to purchase this in any shape or form. I hope you guys, you know, kill it and run that pre-order up. Steve out, let's get back to the video.
I've seen the finesse it takes to save a front windshield, and there's no way this thing stands. This thing's done. This thing's done for. This thing stands no chance. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe with the trim out. Might work. It's done. They're so fragile windshields, like, cause they're made to break, right? Yeah, already cracked. Another one.
Where's she going?
Let's put on that. Be very, very careful. Lupin, you want none of this. A mess.
Lexan?
We gotta do what we gotta do. This is one of the downfalls about here. If you buy an old car and it has a changed windshield, honestly, be worried about it a little bit, because a lot of guys don't re-prep the surface after they cut up. Because right when you cut a windshield out, it's inevitable you're gonna scratch some of the metal. And if it isn't primed properly or sealed properly, moisture will sit in the seals and then they'll rot out where the windshield sits, right? So if you buy a car and there's a little bubble of rust, like let's say around the trim, don't be like, oh, it's just a little, like that's a bad. That's a big deal.
You can see it down
Means
here.
they didn't seal the window, right?
Exactly.
You can see it down here. They didn't seal the window right and started rusting down here.
So you'll start to redo your car. You saw it with DJ Civic, right? His windshield was changed, wasn't sealed properly. He pulled his windshield and there was a hole here. So if you see rust forming around the trims, be very, very, very wary. ASMR for the boys right here. So look at, see, there's rust underneath it right here.
And that was never prepped.
It was never prepped. That's a safe light repair.
Exactly.
Safe replace.
That shouldn't pull off that easy. That's easy. If your glue is doing this, it's the only rust on the car.
No holes, that's good.
No holes, just all surface. It's good.
Class is out, now it's time to officially start cutting metal off this thing. Now we're gonna start with the front because the front is the easiest bit to do. There's not much thinking involved here. The one thing I do wanna think about though is saving the radiator support, because this radiator support is actually in very good condition. It's not rusty, it's super straight, and someone really needs this somewhere. I've needed these before, plenty of times.
All right, I'm not gonna be an asshole and just butcher this thing off. I'm gonna cut around the pinch wells, and then whoever can use the radiator support can clean all that up after and reuse it.
See, she'll live on in another car.
Thanks for not being an asshole, Spoon.
Oh, that's the new one too.
Couldn't reach, huh?
Whatever, dude.
Huh?
Get in there with your little blade. There it is.
Here to immortalize it.
It's a good piece.
That's a nickel.
Or do you want to just keep this one line?
So what are we cutting off next in the front? Well, everyone does this one a little bit differently. Some guys will lop the rail off somewhere over here, build a whole new rail section and a new lower tension rod section, which is nice because then you can make it replaceable if there's ever a front end collision. Some guys will just keep the lower rad support and the factory rails and go from there. In our case, I want to keep the factory rail and the factory lower and just reinforce it. I don't see an issue with that. I think we'll be straight on here. Almost everyone ever will just cut the whole apron out. We're gonna leave the exposed tower. We will reinforce the tower later and then tie it in with the rail, and we'll make a whole tubed front like we did on the S13 coupe, right? When it comes to the upper apron right here, which actually just kind of supports the fender, some guys will lop it off right here and build their own. I've seen a lot of guys like James Dean actually leave this to just kind of help hold up the fender. Why not, right? The metal's already there, might as well use it. So I'm thinking we're gonna leave a little bit of this piece to help support the fender. And if we don't like it, we can always cut it off later on. So we're gonna cut the apron out, but we're gonna do it on the other end of the pinch weld, right? Because if we cut the pinch weld, obviously we're getting rid of all the structural integrity of it, because all this is just thin metal pinch weld together. So we're gonna cut on the outside so it has a double layer on both pieces, and should be good to go. It hurts, but it feels good at the same time, you know?
Always cut less effort.
Yep, and then clean the edges up later. Wow, we just destroyed this car. Holy shit.
Whoa, we didn't destroy it. We're making it better.
I know, it's just crazy that it was
You
like,
guys have too much sentimental value.
it's just crazy how much destruction can happen so quickly.
I love it. Live for it.
Today's all about cutting. Of course, we're gonna have to reinforce all this stuff later. We're gonna reinforce the tower because right now it's just a flimsy little bit hanging off the frame rail. So let's plate this, strengthen it. We're gonna add a bar to the frame rail. That guys will see in step probably 3 or 4, something like that. Today's all about cutting, all right?
It's pure destruction.
We must destroy before we could create something. What is it? Is it like a nice saying? Things will get a whole lot worse before they get better. I don't know. All right, let's do the other side. The front's the easy one. That's all we had to cut out. Obviously, we got to clean all the edges up later on, start plating things, reinforcing things, adding bars here and there, but that's a different part for now. But the rough cut is done, and this is what we're starting with. It looks ridiculous, and it looks a little overwhelming, but it's also super exciting because this is the step in the complete right direction. Now we're gonna move on to the more intimidating part, and that is the rear. And it's intimidating because we have to cut a lot more than we cut in the front, right? With S14s, we're able to put the radiator basically right in this area along with the fuel cell and everything else. So essentially almost all of this in the inside is coming out. And on top of that, to make sure we have room for the fiberglass rear and all the components in the back, we are almost lopping off everything from here back. So we're about to cut a lot of factory metal. We're gonna cut almost all the way up to the trunk line right here. We're gonna keep this factory trunk line right here, but the fiberglass rear end is gonna replace all of this back here. But we need to leave a little bit for it to actually attach onto. So we're gonna probably cut it, we're gonna cut it a little bit fat right now and put it on the outside here. It'll probably end up getting a little bit closer, but for now, just leave it some wiggle room. I'm gonna go over here. So this one, we could put an angle in it or something if we want, because it don't really matter, but for now, let's just cut it straight to give us some extra material. We're gonna come down, and we only need to go up as high as our arch is gonna go up. Now we need to make sure our arch is high enough to make sure we have full suspension travel with a big tire, right? Because if we cut it too low, you know, and this is now the height of our fender arch, the wheel can only go this high. We're probably gonna end up cutting the wheel tub and raising it all the way up to like here if we can, but for now, let's leave it a little bit of fat so we have some materials we can start eyeballing the whole setup, right? So I'm thinking we'll go under the body line, we'll go back, and then we could just bring it down to here for now. We're gonna end up cutting out the entire trunk floor, right? So literally all of it, all the way up to this right here, right? We gotta make sure we leave a little bit of the frame rail, which is somewhere like over here, so we could attach our box rear onto. But like I said, we're gonna leave it a little bit on the big side so we could kind of make that precise cut later on. So I think we should just cut this thing straight across, and it'll give us a better idea of where we want to cut the inside of this. We'll just cut the ass end straight off from now. Just drop the whole thing. We don't need it. Thank you.
One bought those blades just for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
my god.
Remember when DJ really needed a rear body panel and couldn't find one? That looks nuts. Hell yeah.
Makes my heart feel good.
You're so proud.
So proud of you.
Destruction.
So proud.
This looks sick. Look, lug nuts. That's cool. Just look at it from the side. Look how. Goodbye.
Is it too late to go back?
Yeah. This ain't no streetcar no more. That's good.
It's for the streets. It's for the streets. This is gonna be sick, John.
Oh, I'm so hyped. I've wanted to do this for ever. It hurts to cut up such a nice chassis, but what are you supposed to cut up? A crappy car and then have a crappy foundation? No. So that was a big rough cut because we still have to cut quite a bit more, right? So we're gonna end up cutting this, following the rail up to here, all of this out. We're probably gonna end up cutting almost all of this out beyond the rail, right? And then dropping this hole you see, even the rear arch and everything, you're dropping all of this out. But for now, let's cut the tray out. We're gonna cut this one rough too, because if you can see, it attaches really nicely with spot welds everywhere. So if we cut the tray out, we could address each of these spot weld pieces individually, and it'll make it a lot easier to take them all off. So we just need kind of the exposed rear strut tower.
My turn. You had too much fun already.
So much more room. I mean, we have all. We could even cut into this box to get the fuel cell in here. Nice and
Radiator.
deep. Radiator tilted right here. Little firewall. That's sick. That opens it up a lot.
I have a very important question for you.
What's up?
14 or 14.9?
Oh, this is what's killing me. I need you guys' help. So we cut the front end and the rear off this car. We can either do, we could do an S14 Gazanki. We could do an S14 Koki, right? Or you could do the S14.9, which puts a 15 rear and a 15 front on it, but you still get the S14 like quarter glass. It's really popular. You guys have seen it the last few years. And at first I was so set on doing the 14.9, honestly, because I'm obsessed with James's 14.9 Falcon car. It is so cool. But the more I see 14.9s, the more I'm not incredibly sold on it. But then a Kuki, like, it's funny that like Kukis are starting to look old in grid. Like you see an S14 and you're like, damn, that thing looks like a ancient out there. So it's like, what do you do? But I like it. Like doing a Kuki would be kind of cool.
I love how aggressive, I love that, how aggressive that front is.
I know. Or it could, but the 14 rear isn't as aggressive. But then you have Ben Hobson's car,
14.5,
which is a 14.5, where he did a 15 rear and an S14 front, and it looks sick. Let me know in the comments below. If you see someone that comments whatever, just like it so I can see which one gets the most like, because I really want to know what you guys think. Usually I like to just do what I want to do, but I am so on the fence. It is so 50-50 that I cannot decide. So 14, 14.5, or 14.9. Let me know what you guys think below, because I need to order this stuff like 2 weeks ago.
I vote 14.5.
I do too.
Yeah? Take Hobson swag? He'd be about it. Ben Hobson,
He's one of the boys.
So now you can see the remnants of the rear panel right here. So these are all just spot welded on in a few areas. So we'll sit there, grind all the spot welds off, we'll pull it all apart, and it should be a nice, clean, exposed tower.
We still gotta do it to all those brackets, the floor brackets, all those brackets are all coming out.
Yep.
Stripping everything.
Stripping everything. I'll take every ounce we can get out of the car. I do not want to do much more cutting in the rear until we get our rear clamshell, just to keep it safe. We could do the arches because we know where that's gonna go, but I want to hold off for just a little bit until we decide on which freaking rear end we're gonna do on this car. But one thing I want to finish off with is the doors, right? We're leaning on the edge of doing fiberglass doors, but we have a pair of doors that are here and they're metal. If we can get them gutted now, we'll be able to figure out how wide we can go with the cage, right? And
We can rock metal doors.
yeah, we could have fiberglass backups. But for now, we got to gut those things. I'm actually really excited to see how much weight we could save on these S14 doors by gutting them to fit the car. All right, we're gonna start by weighing a whole ass door, glass and all.
You got that?
What?
You got that?
It's surprisingly heavy as I thought.
I know how to use one of these. Here. Make sure it's zeroed out. And toss that on there. Let's say 325.
32 pounds? It only weighs 32 pounds. It feels like it weighs 70. It's pretty awkward just weight.
30.
No, that's kilograms.
Oh. That makes a lot of sense.
Here, mode. Pounds. All right.
Okay, I wasn't. You see, it's 72. I wasn't far off. Oh, actually, it's more. It's more.
Depends on how you just let it go for like 1 second.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
70 71 pounds. See, I was right. 71 pounds per door. That's 140 pounds in door weight. Let's see how much lighter we can make it.
If you ever put doors on a stand, make sure you put it a long way so you don't dent the door.
Pro tips with spoon. Listen to that guy. He knows a thing or two.
It's worth a nickel.
It's worth a nickel.
Oh, yeah, this one's big ass speaker. Got the wiring. Got the regulator. There we go. And now we got the glass. Glass weighs quite a bit. So we're gonna go Lexan with it, of course, just to keep the weight out of it. So the only bit that we need from the door is the outer skin and enough metal around the skin to make sure it's just not a flimsy piece of metal. It could be a little flimsy, but it's got a whole shape, right? We're gonna basically be cutting from this arch in around the entire door. Everything's coming out, even this bar on the inside. So you see we have this giant bar inside the door. This is basically your safety in your stock car, right? Since we're gonna have a roll cage, we don't need this. We get to cut this whole thing out. There's probably a lot of the weight in this because this thing is supposed to stop a car from going into your pelvis.
Most of the weight is usually in the door bars. So the easiest way to normally get these out is you'll cut it in the middle and then drill out these spot welds and you can break this side off and then break that side off.
How many Hondas have you done that to?
Too many.
There we go. That pipe's up. That really nice. Nice.
Obviously, we'll go back with a flat disc and clean up all the edges so we don't get cut. But Jim, you want to weigh this thing?
Yeah, you ready? Let's just talk about one thing, right? We're gonna have the weight of a mirror and the bracket that holds it. We're gonna have the Lexan and the frame that holds it, and then obviously this stuff is all gonna stay because we need to get the door open and closed. So I'd say let's add. What do you think a mirror and some Lexan weighs? 7 pounds?
I don't think it's gonna be 7 pounds. It's probably be less.
All right.
5.
Well, less than 7 pounds are going to the B-Haul. Let's try it out.
Plus, you got at least a quarter pound of dust in that thing.
20.
I'm surprised it's still 20 pounds, but we got it.
But still,
50 pounds.
That's 50 pounds.
at least
That is 50 pounds.
At
yeah.
least 40 pounds out of each door, so 80 pounds.
80 pounds, just from the doors.
That's a good weight savings.
I can imagine the fiberglass door will be probably another 10 pounds lighter than this. Yeah. That's good. I'm not mad about that. Sick. At least with the metal ones, if they get hit,
Pop them back out.
Kick them right back out.
Didn't dent it. Finally, I've cut a few doors in my day. Push the door.
Without the door seal, okay, we're gonna put a new seal on it. We'll account for
The old one was dry rotted.
4 ounces. All right, we'll call it 4 ounces.
It's not too flimsy.
We could fix that. It's not too bad.
Nah, once you put the door seal back in. It's only there for looks.
That's true. If you want to build yourself a light pro car, find yourself a guy that builds EG Civics.
There's a whole lot of metal in here that we can take out. I will make this thing the lightest S chassis in the US.
This thing will be on the trailer, it'll just blow away. And then of course we have door number 2. Look at that. Didn't mess it up. I mean that's pro cars though. That's what you see. Like that's what you get. These things are for show. Well, we did a lot of cutting today. That's good. Good prep for when the rest of the components show up. So
Good progress.
good progress. We can kind of get right to work on the tube front because it's gonna be very simple. Includes our tower reinforcements, our main structure, so reinforcing the tower and giving us the main structure that we will then build off of, which will just be accessories to basically mount the headlights and fender, right? That's really all we need. And the rear, we have to wait for the clamshell to come in, which will be pretty quick. We just have to decide which rear end we want to go with. And
it's up to you guys. Let us know. You're in control of that one.
Help me, because I'm losing my mind.
I say 14.5. Austin?
14.5. 15 rear end. Koki front.
I'm thinking just 14 all around.
I
Yeah?
don't like the 14 rears.
Well, let me know what you guys think. Good progress today. I'm very happy. You guys can start to see the image. I mean, this is the beginning steps of all of this. I was gonna make the joke before, like, you see these cars that are stripped, and like people think they're worth less money because they're stripped, but it saves you like 4 days worth of work if you were to just buy a car already like to this point. So if you're building a pro car, think about it if you already found someone who gave up on their dream, right? So
Well, we did get a really nice foundation, so I'm not mad that we started with
yeah,
this.
I mean, to be fair, like I found a couple cars that were already cut up, but I wanted to go through the full experience of seeing it as a running, driving car and then taking it down to this, right? So
And bringing you guys along.
this will be cool. I think we're gonna do good. So, hope you guys like the progress so far, but for now, we got a lot to do, so you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you guys very shortly.